Chicago, I'll show you the town. I love it. Bet your bottom dollar you lose the blues in Chicago. Chicago, the town that Billy Sunday couldn't shut down. On State Street, that great street, I just want to say, they do things that they don't do on Broadway. Say, you'll have the time of your life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife in Chicago, Chicago, my hometown.
Good evening, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. Tonight, my guest is Pastor Brian Winton from Trinity Church of Englewood. To write to the William Pace Show, write to us at williampaceco@aol.com. That's williampaceco@aol.com, or you can text us at 937-270-9049. Coming up, conversation with Pastor Brian Winton of Trinity Church. Stay with us.
They do things that they don't do on Broadway.
Good evening. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. My guest is Pastor Brian Winton from Trinity Church in Englewood, Ohio. Thanks so much for being with me tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here, William.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, at Trinity, I hear that they have many exciting outreach programs. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, we're Trinity Church in Englewood, formerly Trinity Lutheran Church, but we just wanted to make sure that we let everyone know that they're welcome to. If you don't have a Lutheran background, you don't have to feel like you can't belong there. The outreaches that we do, we have regular outreaches that happen monthly, one of which is our, we call it a Bible and Brew. It's a fun time. It's the first Monday night at, it's every first Monday of the week, first Monday of the month.
Okay.
At 7 p.m. at Company 7 Barbecue in Englewood.
Okay.
We talk about the Bible a little bit, but we also talk about fun topics like angels or demons, or why bad things happen to good people, or just whether faith healers are really a thing, just all kinds of crazy stuff you just never get to talk about.
What I find appealing about that, or interesting, is that, you know, so many people today feel alienated from the church for whatever reasons. Something went down in the church and they don't really feel that they can go to a church anymore. But so I see this, you know, the Bible and Brew, is that right?
Yes.
Bible and Brew, first Monday of every month as a way that people, I've often thought churches are like a portal, have portals into the churches. Many times people will come to a spaghetti dinner. Many times it might be some kind of outreach program that they find their way into the church. So that's a maybe not a little less scareful way, or a less frightening way to come into the church, to test the church out, to see if this would be a fit for me.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we really want to model and to live. We believe that Jesus was down to earth, caring, and open-minded. We believe that he really made a difference in people's lives. And one of the ways he did that was by getting to know people in everyday life situations. So we like having a discussion group at Company 7 where anybody can go and feel at home. We do nature walks the third Thursday of every month. Between now and November, we'll be doing nature hikes, and folks would just meet at our church on Thursday night at 6:30. And that's always fun.
Sounds like there's a lot going on, a lot of opportunities going on. What I find most interesting is your Trinity's mission statement. No matter where you're from, no matter who you love, no matter what you've done, you're welcome here in the house of God.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter wherever you're from, Whatever you might have done, whoever you happen to love, you don't have to walk alone.
Oh, I love it.
And it's true. A number of the folks from our church, myself included, know what it's like to not be welcome, or to be able to go to a church and always have to wonder if they're really going to accept you. And we believe that when someone is allowed to be who they are, when they're authentic, then God's love and grace can touch them in a way that will change their life. But if they have walls up and they're pretending to be something they're not, then how will they ever know that they're really loved? Because no one ever gets a chance to know the real them.
So you accept people as they are.
As they are.
You know. So I heard that, and tell me if this is correct, that there was you had an event out at one of the parks called Pet Blessings.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
The Humane Society of Greater Dayton had a Furry Scurry Inn Festival. It's a big event for the year. People brought their animals and did the race, and all kinds of booths and vendors. But our church had the idea to set up a booth and to offer free pet blessings and hand out scarves to the owners.
Wow.
And it was a joy. It was just such a fun time to get to see the animals, to pray for them, to show them that we actually care, that God cares about animals, and just do something nice without asking for anything in return.
What I like about it is it's different from the so-called traditional church, where it's in a traditional building. And speaking of traditional settings and churches, your church, Trinity, is not in a traditional setting.
No, we're not.
Tell us where you're located.
We are located at 606 Taywood Road and in Englewood, Ohio, 45322.
Okay.
And that's right near the corner of Taywood and South Main Street, if you know where that is.
Yeah, not far from 70.
Yep, not far from Highway 70 at all. Makes it real easy for folks to get there, whether they're from Vandalia or Union or just anywhere. But we are actually meeting in a strip mall.
Wow.
And a while back, when they sold the larger building, the church made a decision to actually, they wanted to be a place where anyone felt welcome. They wanted to be a place where if someone was raised in a church and looking at a steeple or a big intimidating church building triggered some trauma or some pain from their past, the good thing about a strip mall is it's transparent. Like when people walk by, we have huge glass windows all the way across the front, and people can see everything we do. They can see everything that we're about. They can see the worship space, and they don't know exactly what they're walking into. And that's part of who we are as a church. Is we want to make sure that folks know that they can trust us. It is a small building, space, so if you walk in, people are going to know that you're new. But they, time and again, welcome folks just like they're a member of their own family and take it in stride. We're just glad to have people visit when they visit.
Wonderful, wonderful. Coming up when we return, we're going to be talking about a big event at Trinity coming up October the 6th. Stay with us.
You'll have the time of your life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife.
Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. We're talking with Pastor Brian Whitten from Trinity Church in Englewood. And before we went to break, we were talking about some of the outreach programs in the church. And several shows ago, we had a Miss Debbie Stahl here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know Miss Debbie.
She's a delight.
And so you're also involved in working with the backpack program for children returning to school. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in addition to the Bible and Brew and, of course, the nature hikes, the Bible studies, and the weekly service that we do, the worship services, we really, really enjoy getting involved with other organizations in the area that are doing great work trying to help people.
So you
one
do
of
a lot
those
of partnering.
Yeah. And, you know, Debbie, she's part of a fantastic organization called It was Community Table.
Right.
And one of the things that they're coordinating is a backpack kind of school supply raiser for the year. and I've heard all kinds of good things about it. I'm excited to be a part, and we're getting as many supplies as we can, and we're going to go and help out. It'll be a fantastic time. And also, just as an extra touch, all of the backpacks that we have gathered and all the supplies that we gather, we're going to do a prayer time and just kind of bless them and pray for the kids who get them as we send them out to the distribution.
That's big, because I'm a firm believer praying over people, praying over situations, praying over gifts, that the gifts can be a light to people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more than just giving someone something. You're giving them something, but you're giving them the gift and the Spirit of God.
Absolutely.
And that's precious.
And you know, some folks say that they're not superstitious or they don't believe in that kind of thing, but most people, if they had an option to buy a wedding ring that had been used and it came from a divorced couple, they probably wouldn't buy it, because on some level, they would think, you know, maybe there's some bad vibrations, energy, something, you know, maybe it's cursed, whatever they might think. Well, I have to believe that the love and the joy and the hope and the care of the congregation, it's got to be able to soak into those items and pass it along to those kids. And you know, it's just a joy to not only do things as a church, but to be able to collaborate with other organizations that are doing good work, because we're not in this by ourselves, you know?
Absolutely. And I really do feel that Jesus Christ is really the best solution to all the problems that the world is facing today. And, you know, sometimes it saddens me to, you know, like maybe you'll pass by an establishment like I won't mention any kind of particular establishment, but you'll see that the place is filled to the brim, and people seem to be looking for things, you know, that earthly things, and what they really need to be looking for is a closer walk with God, and to know His Word better.
Yeah.
And in this time when people have strayed from the church, how can we get more people to return back to God and to the Word of God, and to, as the Word says, you know, in Scripture, you know, fail not to assemble yourself, because it's in the assembling that we exonerate each other, you know. And I always add something on to it, to a double blessing, that when two or more are gathered in my name, there the Lord will be. So how can we get more people back into the church today?
It's a great question. There's a few things about that question that are worth looking at. One is, whenever we try to start from a place where we're trying to make people do something, we're kind of off on the wrong foot from the beginning.
So it's really about accepting people from where they are.
I really do believe that the days of salesmanship and manipulation and coercion and handing out food but requiring people to listen to a sermon first and all these different tactics that churches used to use, I think the day for that is done. People don't trust churches like they used to. And and that's sad, but what we can do is, our people, like the members of my church and other churches, you can go out, you can befriend people, you can get to know folks. Instead of waiting for the church to have a big program to do it, go and get to know somebody that you don't otherwise know. And that's the real key, is when you're your authentic self with them, when they see that you are so confident in God's love and acceptance that you can be yourself with other people, then they will see that and they'll trust you more. They'll get to know you, and they'll know that your love is genuine and your care is genuine. And
I love it.
And then if they decide that they want to move closer to that and find out more, then that's great. And if they don't,
that's okay too.
That's okay too. Being a human being is enough, you know. That they deserve to be loved, they deserve to be cared for, just because they're human, and that's They don't have to do anything.
Wonderful. I want to talk a little bit about your background. I think you came from Wisconsin.
Yes.
And I'm familiar with Wisconsin a little bit because of having performed there in Kenosha, Racine, and Milwaukee. And so you came from Wisconsin to go to school, and through going to school and going to the seminary, this is your first job as a pastor of a church.
Yeah. Yeah, I was raised in Wisconsin. I came to Ohio in 2001 and spent some time in school, got my undergraduate degree from Ohio Christian University in psychology, went to seminary, got a master's in divinity and a master's of theology from Trinity Lutheran Seminary in Columbus. And I'm actually currently looking at getting another degree to become a licensed substance abuse counselor.
Wow.
Which I haven't told anyone yet. So you get the breaking news story.
Well, you hear it first right here. Well, I understand there's a big event, and we're keeping you in suspense about it. Don't you love it? But there's a big event coming up at Trinity Church in Inglewood. Stay with us.
They do things that they don't do on Broadway.
Hi, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. And we're back with my guest, Pastor Brian Whitten from Trinity Church of Inglewood. And I want to ask you about this big event that I'm hearing about October the 6th at your church, and it's called the Chalk Art Healing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. October 6th at our church, it's going to be the Chalk Art for Healing Festival. And it's a wonderful opportunity to do something. I've noticed that myself and a lot of others, you hear about so many victims of the opioid crisis, so many people, it seems like everybody knows somebody. Or if they don't know somebody, they know somebody who knows somebody who's died.
Who's been afflicted
by this. And it is an epidemic. And it is just ravaging Montgomery County and some of the other counties in Ohio and across the nation. And when we hear about those things, there is that sense of what can I possibly do to help? And the Chalk Art for Healing Festival, it does two things. One, it gives them a chance to say, I can go to this, I can donate some money, I can contribute to something that's going to push back against the opioid crisis and fight back. So it gives them that sense of being able to do something concrete. The second thing is it gives them a chance to come and find resources if they need to. There'll be booths and tables set up with community groups, counseling groups, grief groups. There'll be churches, of course, and all kinds of different food vendors and games and music. And
I hear there's going to be a silent auction.
There'll be a beautiful silent auction with some great stuff. And of course, the chalk art, which is, it's going to be a big chunk of the parking lot. The pavement's going to be devoted to allowing different artists to do their various masterpieces right in front of our eyes. And we get to see these things actually get created.
And it's right next to the old Ponderosa building right there in Northmont Shopping Center.
Yep, in the Northmont Plaza Shopping Center. And it's right at the corner of Taywood and South Main Street.
Now, for the viewers out there who are listening who might want to volunteer maybe to help with the event, or if they're, what I hear is that you don't have to be an experienced artist.
No.
That if you've never had any art background, that you're offering a class to prepare people before the event to know how to create their masterpieces. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So the event itself is going to be on October 6th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. From, I believe, 9 a.m., 8:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m., there will be a class, so that we're going to have one of the more experienced chalk artists, and any of the chalk artists that are newer, they're going to get together, and they'll tell them the basics, and show them, what are some pointers, what are some things to get the ball rolling for you.
This sounds like a family, entire family fun event kind of thing that you could bring the whole family.
It is an event for the whole family. We're going to give some attention to the kids as well, try to have some face painting and some different fun things for them.
Face painting, okay.
Yeah. And really, it's that whole Northmont Mall kind of area, Englewood. Businesses are really chipping in. Folks are getting involved, and they want to really be part of this. All of the proceeds go to the Mosaic Institute of Greater Ohio for the producing of a memorial.
Memorial?
And the memorial will be for the victims of the opioid epidemic. It'll be downtown in Dayton, and it's going to be a giant mosaic that allows folks to come from all over the country or the area if they want to, and they can actually get a tile and put a tile up and contribute to the memorial in memory of their loved ones or friends who have died.
Wow.
So
that is big.
It's a big thing. It'll be a healing thing. That's why we're calling it the Chalk Art for Healing, because we're raising money for this masterpiece that so it can become a reality and people can have a chance to heal.
Give us the website. So that people listening at home can go to your website and get more details about the Chalk Art Healing Festival coming up October 6th.
The website is www.trinityenglewood.org, and it's going to be /chalk art. So trinity.org/chalk art. If you do that, it'll take you right there. There'll be a form that you can fill out. And just to give us a little information about you, and so we can make sure that we can contact them and get you the info that you need. That goes for volunteers. That goes for food vendors. We'll have some art vendors who want to sell art that they've done. That'll be fantastic. We're going to have community groups, like I said, so they can apply too. But everybody needs to go on the website, just fill out the little form there, and that way we can make sure that we get you exactly what you need, and everything can stay nice and simple for you.
And if people want to make a contribution of some kind, they can also go to the website and do that as well. Or they can call the church, maybe.
Yeah, at 937-771-0049. 937-771-0049.
Wonderful. And I hear some important people are involved with this project. Mayor Gary Lisle, former mayor of Dayton, is involved in the program, helping. And just many people are coming together all across Montgomery County to support this cause. And I would like to ask you too, my viewers, to support it as well, because so many people's lives have been torn apart by the opiate epidemic. And this is a way that we can say, no, we're going to not have this here, and we're not going to stand by and watch this go down. We're going to do something about it. So I ask for your support of this wonderful program, October the 6th. And one last thing I want to ask you before we close is that there's going to be a competition.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that too.
So the artists that come, some are going to be professional, and some of them are going to be very, very talented. Others are going to be more in it for fun, and that's totally fine. We're hoping to get a Boy Scout group and some different groups involved. Maybe, if a church wants to buy a plot and do an art piece, they can do that. But there is a competition component for those that are interested, where there'll be a People's Choice Award, where everyone who's looking at the art will get a chance to vote on which one is their favorite. And then there'll also be an award for the Best in Show, and that'll be decided by the judges, who will be Gary Lisle, as well as myself and a few other folks. Some other people, yeah. We're hoping somebody from maybe a local government in Englewood or Northmont area there. But it'll be a fantastic time. Trinity's mission statement is to just to be a down-to-earth church. A down-to-earth church with people from many walks of life following Jesus into the real world, into today's world. And we really believe in that. You know, we think Jesus was open-minded, down-to-earth, and that he was caring, that he made a difference, and we want to make a difference too. So I really hope that anyone who's interested, feel free, come over to the Chalk Art Festival. It's not really even a church event, it's just an event to help fight the opioid epidemic and to make a difference in the world. And we can do it together. We can make a difference. And I believe that things like this, they can start other things and they can motivate people to make good life changes.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming on the program tonight. And we have a little gift for you. A box of Esther Price Fine Chocolates.
Nice.
It's Dayton's best.
Well, thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks so much for being here. There's more to come on the William Pace Show. Stay with us.
You'll have the time of your life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife.
Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. Remember to always stay the course. Gotta go. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
That great street, I just want to say, they do things that they don't do on Broadway. Say, you'll have the time of your life. I saw a man, he danced with his wife in Chicago, my hometown.